Yes, and I think that's where, that selection really comes to play. I think there is a sense of brutal honesty on both
Hmm.
parts,
Hmm.
as you come to the table or as you make selections that need to come into play. Um, One of the things that I thought about as I was reflecting in preparation for this meeting was just brutal honesty and clarity within the sponsor team as well. Sometimes the sponsors think they're ready. They think they have a process. The R&D team says they're ready for a tech transfer, but maybe they're not.
Right.
Um, the whole organization thinks they're ready and on a certain timeline, but maybe they don't have the funding yet. And so, if you don't have that brutal honesty internally to really understand, here is where we truly are, such that you can select the right type of CDMO to really get you to success. So, I think there are times, I mean, with my experience, I was very focused on building platform processes that clients could come in and piggyback on. They don't need to have their own process. They don't need to know how to execute these pieces necessarily. They need to understand their product, but a lot of that work is carried out by the CDMO already on their own platform. And
Right.
so you come in and you can leverage that. But there are unique processes where your cell type is very unique, or your product has specific nuances, or you just have sponsors who want to own their own process. And
Right.
so knowing what type of CDMO do I need? Do I need a CDMO that knows the process and has a platform? Do I need just the space to manufacture and people to execute it such that I'm just paying for time and materials with some overhead? Or do I need a bridge where they start with the R&D, then we move into that model? And I think having that internal clarity on the side of the CDMO, I mean, on the side of the sponsor, to know where they are in that development journey, as well as maturity of internal capabilities, would really help in selecting the best CDMO to go with, which might not look like the right one on paper in the big picture, but might actually be the best for that phase, or for that stage of the organization. So, Bikash, that was what I was thinking when you were talking about,
No, I completely agree with you. It's just to emphasize with cell and gene, it's a different sensibility with your CDMO partner. While in a small molecule or even classical biologics, where I'm doing MABs and other products, our company is often between the drug sponsor and the CDMO, working with both parties to make sure the right technical considerations are being anticipated in that space. And with a small molecule or even a MABs, we may be looking at efficiencies in manufacturing, processability, and capacities, right? But you have to
yeah,
weigh those opportunities seriously against the ability to
yes,
control the
yes.
necessary processing at the cellular level uh, with known equipment, as you said, platform equipment that has been used in the development prior to that, versus the higher efficiency, because you may introduce a whole new set of variables.
For sure.
Very
No,
true.
I agree. I think once an organization knows what they're capable of, what they have and what they don't have, then you know what type of support to seek. And Bikash, whether it's an intermediary as well that helps you really think through
Yeah.
gaps in your knowledge and gaps in your expertise that allows you to make that right selection, or that beefs up the sponsor team in some sense so that you can go
Right.
to that conversation with better
Right.
clarity. But I think it's very, very important, on the sponsor side, to really be just very clear and truthful internally about what type of process we have at hand today, the maturity of that process, and what timelines look like to actually get into patients.